been a while.
It has been a while, and now I'm like sick, and we're filming in the morning, so everything feels off.
It does feel weird filming in the morning, but I do kind of like it because
It's kind of nice.
now it's not like end of the day. Okay, go film, and then like I always liked doing this, but it was like
It was fine during the winter, I think, because it was already like dark out, so I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I was missing out on much.
Yeah.
But now that it's like really nice out, and we only get that for like 3 months out of the year,
yeah.
it's kind of nice just to get it done in the morning. But
Do you want to do the intro like you usually do?
I think so. It's been a minute. But welcome to the Anovia Wheels podcast, Between the Spokes. We're back. I'm back. It's been a little bit, but we've been taking care of some stuff here, so appreciate you guys hanging out. But welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time listening. I'm Gels.
I'm Sam.
And today, Sam, what are we talking about?
We're not really going to talk about anything super particular. I'd more want to, well, we will. We'll talk about like first event.
Okay.
Because Gels had his first drift day.
I did.
A couple weeks ago. And I kind of want to, like we talked about prepping for an event before, and a lot of you guys have been buying our wheels and using them in motorsports applications.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of, from what I'm seeing online, a lot of you guys are in a similar boat where you're feeling a certain way after your first event, or maybe you're getting ready for your first event, and maybe you listen to that podcast. You should listen to it if you haven't already. But it's definitely a different thing to do with a car. So
Yeah, absolutely.
let's like start kind of a baseline.
Sure.
Have you, like, as far as your track experience prior to your first drift day, I know you did some Road America stuff with FI. What else, like, kind of did you do on the track?
That was really it. That was like when we went out to Road America for FI, we did like the Motorplex or whatever it was called, basically like their go-kart track that they have. They use it for autocross and stuff too. I know like the local autocross club goes out there a lot. That's kind of what we set it up for as well. And that was in the S2000. And then my FRS, I ran it a couple times just for the hell of it because we had it for the whole day. And I was like, I want to drive this car on a track per se. And that was really about it of my track experience outside of like video games and things like that.
So you were going in kind of in the dark to your first drift day, which
kind of, yeah. I had never done like a true burnout before in a car.
Yeah.
I have only gone sideways in like the snow, my old E36 and some snowy parking lots. It was really about it.
So and that's where I guess I don't think a lot of people understand. That's where everyone kind of starts at some point.
At least up here, yeah.
Yeah. Well, like you have at some point you haven't done something and you're going to go do something you haven't done before.
Right.
This seems like a little bit of a leap of faith because it's kind of seems like a lot because there's a lot of I've never done. So leading up to the event, so you're getting ready for it. How, like, walk us through how you're feeling there, what you're doing, like that kind of thing.
I was super nervous, honestly. I was mostly nervous for, like, obviously it's a little bit of a drive. It's like 40 minutes or so. I didn't want to like forget anything. Like we were getting up pretty early.
Well, you don't even know what to bring.
I didn't even know like what to bring. So I just like, I packed as much stuff in the 240 as I could. Maggie, my wife, was coming up later. She had to drop off the dog. So I like packed like some extra like wheels and tires and like my jack and all that kind of stuff in the Jeep because she was coming up right after that. I had never even driven the car for that long.
I remember you were super nervous about just driving the car there.
Yeah, I was like, as long as the car makes it there, I'll be happy. Because if it like would have broke down on the way, I would have been so upset. Be like, man, paid all this money, I got all prepped for this stuff. Like I was so ready, and then like to not even make it there, like something would go wrong. Luckily, we did make it there. We only hit a raccoon on the highway.
We caravan there too.
We did caravan there, yeah.
We had our friend Chris in his Corvette. We had a
trailer.
Yeah, we had an eclectic group.
It was pretty wild. The IS300, a Corvette with a trailer with all of his spares on it, and then me.
Yep. So when we were driving there, I was in the lead position and
monster trucking.
Yeah, I had the IS raised like super high with the new angle kit from Easy Knuckles. Shout out Rich, appreciate that. But yeah, so it was monster trucking. I'm driving, and I think there was a car in front of me, but like a little ways away, and I was kind of zoned out, like just listening to some music, just vibing, trying to like mentally prepare myself to try to remember how to drift. And all of a sudden, this big like this is a big boy. I don't know if it was a bloated raccoon or just a big one.
I think it had to have been,
because that thing was big, and I'm like, oh shit, and then I'm like, I have Monster Jam level ride height right now, so I'm fine. So I turn my brain off, like, I'm fine. And then my brain turns back on, I'm like, Gels. Because Gels' car is it's pretty low, but
It's dummy low.
kit is so low.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how the guy drove it before you, because you raised it, right?
Yeah, I did, because he had like, it was to the point where like locking collars were gone. I had to like
Dude, the locking
salvage some locking collars like from Anna's old coilovers.
Oh, that's right.
To be able to like actually raise it, because the things were just maxed. Like the subframe was like
Maxed
that
low.
far. Yeah,
Yeah.
things were like the subframe was like that far off the ground.
Oh my
And
God.
like I'd pull it off of like, I have like this little gravel driveway, like
one of his
offshoot.
2 driveways.
Yeah, one of my 2 driveways. And obviously like there's like little ruts and stuff, and it's like not bad. Like I've never had an issue with
Yeah.
it. Like it's not like, oh man,
like your
there's
lawnmower
ruts.
goes in
But
there
it's
and
just
stuff.
like, it's like, oh man, I got stuck because the subframe is on like the little bitty mound in the middle, and I was like, damn, I definitely need to raise this thing. So, but yeah, no. So I was in the last position. I wouldn't say like super close to Chris, but like all I remember seeing is like that raccoon just like not shooting out, but like in a sense shooting out from like under his trailer, and I was like, I got no time to react. So I just kind of like braced. I was like, ah, shit. It's like, it was so loud. I'm like, is my bumper good? Like the bumper seemed to still be on the car. Nothing was like rubbing or scraping. I'm like, all right, we should be fine. And I remember we showed up to the track, and like get out, and I'm like, is there like bits of raccoon? Because I looked behind me and there was just stuff flying everywhere. Like that thing exploded. And I'm like, that might be some of my car. I don't know.
You have a KBD bumper.
Yeah.
If that would have been a fiberglass bumper, it would have exploded.
Gone. Yeah, I literally what I imagine happened is the whole thing like tucked under the car and then just popped back out.
Probably.
Because it's literally like
Gels
an
had a
eraser
nice
bumper.
like, not blood, it's like a gut spot, like on the front, and it broke your quick release tabs.
Yeah, I had like these nice quick releases that I was so proud of for installing on the bumper, and like being able to like pop it off real quick. It sheared those like little the bolts that like it pops onto. It sheared them right off, and I was like, oh, that lasted, but we did make it.
So we got to the track. So that was not even to the track. So we get there. Where was your nerves at that point once we got to the track?
Honestly, I was doing pretty good. I don't tend to psych myself out too much. Like I probably, because it's more like the night before, I tend to psych myself out, just like, oh my God, did I forget something? Or like, did I forget to pack something?
That's when you just get really drunk and pass out.
Yeah, I did take your advice. I did grab a beer and relax.
Oh yeah, I forgot I told you that. I was like, just drinking.
Because I was just like dialing some stuff in, or like just kind of buttoning up like loose ends and stuff like that, getting everything packed. But anyway, yeah, so we got there and I like got all the stuff out, and I was waiting for Maggie to get there so I can throw the Anovias on the back, and
those look really good, by the way.
I was just kind of like checking everything out, and I was like just kind of watching how things were going and like kind of meeting everybody, which super cool people up there.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, everything was ready to like open up, and like the skid pad is open in the morning, and I was like the first one out there, and I was like, because they did like a raise hands, like, hey, who's like first time like here? And I was like the only one to like raise my hand. I was like, oh, sick.
I was really surprised because it was the first drift day of the year, and usually there's some people, it seems that like they want to start driving like over the winter or whatever, or like at the end of last year they're making plans to drive, so this is the first one. But yeah, you were like the newbie.
I think there was a couple other people there, but like I remember just being like one of the only people to raise my hands. I was like, oh, this is great. But no, I went up to the skid pad, and I was like threw the helmet on, and I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, like what do I do? I was like trying to remember, like, you know, from like riding along with you, and like just like hearing things and watching videos, like, all right, this is what to do, and it's like a low horsepower car, so you got to drive a little bit different. And I just like went out there. It was like they got 2 cones, like basically in this parking lot that you can, you know, kind of.
Were they the metal disc things?
Yeah.
Oh my God! So when I first went there,
I launched one of those things.
Well, when I first went there, they had metal, or not metal. That would have been terrible. They had barrels.
Oh really?
And I punted a barrel, and I kind of fucked up a bumper. But the metal things, I saw, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I didn't realize it, but yeah, if you get your rear wheel over one of those, it just shoots.
Yeah, it's like a freaking missile coming out of there.
A metal like disc missile.
So loud too. Like I remember, so I like went in and I like initiated. I was like, oh, okay, that was like I remember it being like breaking free a lot easier than I thought it would have. And I was like, damn, okay. And I just kind of like stayed in. I'm like, okay, I can do a donut. That's kind of cool. And I was like kind of like keeping like a good area around the cones, and then I was trying to like, you know, do like a figure 8 thing, which turned out to be a lot harder than
when you start linking them.
Yeah. So I started doing that, like anyway, I did like 2 runs and I saw like the line started back up. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get out and get back in line.
That's a weird thing I will say about the skid pad is like until you like feel comfortable, I'm always like, sorry.
Yeah, because I was like the first one in line because you're like, get out there, go. Everyone's like, Gels, go. I was like, all right. So I like went out there and I did like maybe like 2 tries and then I like spun out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get back in line, get my head together. And I was like waiting and like got back up and I go for the second time. I literally go to throw it into the corner and I just hear something go clunk and the car just goes straight. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, oh my God, did I like lose a wheel or something? Did I not torque the lug nuts down? Like what the hell happened? I'm waiting for like a wheel to go like flying past me. And I think like Ryan came over and he like run over, was like, your tie rod is like dangling. I was like, oh shit.
I don't know any of this, by the way. I'm on the track trying to like figure out my angle kicks. It's like a new kit, so I'm like trying to learn it. And when I'm driving back into the pits, I was like, all right, I'll go check on Gels, see how he's doing. I drive in and I just see his car jacked up. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
like,
so we were able to
happened?
He's like, it just came like out. He's like, I can turn the wheel. If you turn really shallowly to the left, it should just kind of carry it. And it was a straight shot to the pit. And I was like, bet. And I was like, kind of like limped it over there. I'm like, oh my God, I broke my car. And then I was like, Sam dropped 2 new tie rods off on my desk like a couple days before. I said, hey, you might need these. And those came in super clutch. So yeah, we like went over there. We had that thing replaced in like,
dude, Ryan's
15 minutes. Oh,
Shout
dude, he hopped in there, used certain rips some up. He's like, hey, you got a 14 mil? Like I was like, you can, I can do. He's like, oh no, I got nothing better to do. And he's like, in the car. I was like, just handing them. I was like the tool monkey, just like handing them tools and stuff. And
but the funny thing though is, I remember we did a toe plate on your car.
Yep.
And then we changed some stuff, or we got it better.
Yeah.
But then when Ryan had to do the tie rod, you guys basically got dialed in right away, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Like we had the car up in the air, old tie rod out, new one in and aligned in like literally 15, 20 minutes, and I was back out there.
It was really weird though how it like unthreaded itself out. This is my conclusion.
So
it had to have unthreaded itself out, not pull threads out.
Yeah. So here's the thing with this car. It was built about 10 years ago. It's already a 30-year-old car. The current state was built 10 years ago. It's been driven heavily since then.
Yep.
So there are some things that just like might have come loose or like you know things like that. Like my motor mounts. So we were doing this video for FI yesterday. We bought like the cheapest coilovers we could find on the internet, right?
Yeah.
And so we're like, all right, I'll throw them on the 240. We'll go drive it around. Well, shockingly enough, the coilovers didn't even fit. Like I couldn't even put them on if I wanted to.
I'm surprised.
But I go to put the rear on. I haven't even told you this yet.
Oh no!
This happened like last night.
Dude, juicy
I go to like put or take the rear Megan coilover out.
Yep.
That's in there. I'm like, it should be like a 17, and I like go to check the nut on the back of like where the strut is, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a 17, and I realized that it's like twisted. I was like, oh, maybe it's not a 17. And I was going over, and I'm like, oh no, it's like unthreaded. It wasn't even like hand tight. It was just like on there.
Oh my God.
So that was like that when we were driving. So this week I am checking every goddamn bolt and nut on that car because that is terrifying.
Nut and bolt checks are important.
Yes. So checking both tie rods, checking literally anything that I can see and get my hands on. I'm just gonna
check your axles. So into the diff, check those, and then also check your drive shaft bolts.
Okay.
Because if those come off, you have something spinning very fast.
Yeah, like really, right here, and that's scary. Yeah.
That'll do bad things.
Yeah, I don't want that.
You should check your clutch bolts too. Just take your transmission off. Just make sure that
you're check like the head studs and everything.
Yeah, just like check the oil galley. He's like, okay, the motor's good. We'll put it back together.
We're just gonna do a complete like tear down and rebuild real quick.
It's like, wow, Gels took the nut and bolt check literally. Like I checked every nut, every bolt. Yeah.
No, that was scary, and that is what I'm going to spend the rest of the week doing up until Saturday is checking everything because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I. First of all, drove there and back, and like drove there like on the track with that like that.
Well, it should pretty much all be 17s and 19s.
Yes.
So it should be pretty okay after that.
Pretty easy to work on. It's just wow.
Yeah, that's scary.
So we got the tie rod replaced. I spent the rest of the morning like on the skid pad, kind of just learning like the actual control of everything and like what to do.
Was Ryan the one out on the skid pad instructing?
Ryan was there. I can't remember the name of the other guy that was out there too. But they were super helpful.
Cool.
And they were like, I'd come back, and because I was like the only one out there at that point. Everyone else was on the track. And I was just like, hey, sorry guys. Like, oh, no, you're good. Like,
That's what it was
just
there
let
for.
her rip. Yeah. And they were like giving me some pointers and stuff. And eventually they're like, hey, like you got the control down. I think you're ready to go out there. I'm like, I'm not ready to go out there. Don't make me go out there. I don't want to go on the track. I'm too scared. But after lunch, they shut the skid pad down, and then I had to go out on the track.
We forced the baby birds out of the nest.
Yeah, I was like,
get out.
I like get on like the grid for the first time. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And,
so what was it like? Because not many people get to ask them this. What was it like driving out of the pits to the grid and sitting on grid for the first time on track?
Oh, it was terrifying. I was just like watching everybody else, and like I like watched one guy like go fly off. I was like, that's gonna be me. It's like really kind of getting in my head a little bit. No, it was, but I remember like everyone's like, you don't have to drift every corner. Like go drive the course. So like the first couple times, like I just like kind of autocrossed it. I just drove like really quick through the course, kind of got to know everything a little bit.
That's the important thing. Know where you're going.
Where like the thing like not to drop off because it's like a 2-foot drop and like
that's a problem.
Break everything, and just areas to watch out for and stuff like that. And then I would say about like the third time through, I tried a couple different corners, and I was like, holy shit, oh my God. And like, it was really crazy to like I said, just how much it wanted to do that. Like the car is like specifically built for that. Like the car is really well set up for what it is.
Because you're used to a car that wants to keep grip.
Well, right, yeah. And so like as soon as like you told it to do it, it did it. And I was like, damn, okay. Like that, I thought that would have been a little harder, but it was more of just like, okay, now you're in it. What are you gonna do? But I was like, damn, I can't believe it just wants to go sideways that quick. But yeah, so I pretty much just spent the day. There was like the first corner, because I didn't do the first corner because that like goes up, and like if you fuck that up, you go flying into the woods. I didn't want to do that, so I took like the second corner as my first corner. The next one was a little tougher, but the third one, I was feeling really good on that third one. There was like the sweeping one.
That's my favorite corner.
Yeah.
Where it comes over the hill. And,
I was feeling really good on that one. The only problem I think that I was having is that the car was gripping up a lot. Like I'd try to like clutch kick in the middle too to like keep, keep going, but like it's just like I'd have my foot pinned and I'd clutch kick, it was like every time. There was just too much grips. I think next time definitely air up the rear tires a little more. But
you should just do start with like 50 psi.
Yeah,
I think you should be, because you only have 225s on that.
225s, yeah.
Do like 50 psi and see what it's like.
I think definitely this weekend I'm gonna do that, because it was just like I would get into it and it feel good, and then it just die out and straighten out, and I was like, shit, like and I'm like, okay, like damn it,
come on, go.
Like I know you only got like 100 some horsepower, but come on.
Like you use all of it.
Yeah.
So once you did those laps, did you come back into the pits then and like?
Yeah, so I'd run about. Well, I was also dealing with some overheating stuff, or like I just start pissing water everywhere because I must have had like a massive like air bubble in the system or something, because we had to swap out the coolant for like distilled water. So I did that a couple days before, and I did it in my garage. I was like, I didn't have like the right funnel thing to like really kind of like get all the air out.
Also,
of the system.
not much came out.
Yeah. It was only like
that was weird.
Like a gallon in there, if that. So like I had a couple other gallons with me. You had that like nice
the
funnel thing, and I was able to get that all figured out. But yeah, I'd run about like I'd say probably 3 or 4 times, and then come back in, kind of like analyze what I did, like thought about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this next time, and went back out there. Like just took a nice little like 10-minute break in between. I'd say like five runs or so.
So it was funny when I first saw Gels get on grid. I was like, oh yeah, he's doing it. Like, here we go. Like, this is where you fuck your shit up. Like, this will be super fun. But no, I know he'd be fine. And I was watching him and he did the autocross thing. I was like, good. Like, you took everyone's advice and you actually use it. There's a lot of people that do like that'll show up to something like this and then they're like, I'm the drift king. Like,
I'm just gonna learn it myself. I don't need help. Like, don't talk to me. Yeah, I don't get that mentality. I really don't.
No, so it's always good, and there's a lot after the event. Like, there's a lot of compliments. People are like, man, Gels learned a lot. Like, really progressed. And I was like, yeah, it was really fun to see. But I remember I was watching, and I was like, man, he's kind of driving like slow.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I feel like, because on a lower power car, you need to like keep the momentum. I was like, I think if you drove a little faster, it'd be good. So I remember I was like, Gels, I think you just need to like drive faster.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to drive faster. I don't want to do it. Yeah, because I'd come back and it's like, faster. It was like that scene from like a Miracle where it's like again, and it's like faster. I was like, I don't want it. It was like faster. And so yeah, that first corner like initiating, I was like top a second. I was like, this is way too quick. And like I ended up doing it. I was like, damn, okay, that actually felt good. And then I got comfortable with that, and I started like, oh, I need to go faster. And then like I think it was Ryan. He's like, try going a little slower. I'm like, okay, cool. Because like there was one time I went and it just went flying. I actually like spun like too far, and I remember like the front of the car like went off like on the inside, and it like came back, and I like skipped like a rock like like on the track. I was like, I just broke everything. Like everything's fucked. Like, I went back immediately to the pits, checked everything out, but it was good. But I was like, maybe I was a little too fast. Dial it back.
It's a weird feeling because especially in a low power car, when you throw it into a corner, you lose a lot of speed. Yeah. So you're slowing down with angle. You're not like using the e-brake. You're just throwing it into the angle. So the tires are going sideways. You're scrubbing speed that way. So you lose speed that way. So that's why you got to go faster to at least have some speed coming out of it. But then was it after? It was after lunch because you're on the track. I think I jumped in with you. I was like, all right, I want to jump in. I didn't say anything for like the first lap.
A couple laps.
Couple laps. Like, all right, I just want to see what's going on. And I was like, yep. Like, all right, feel like he's got some control. And I was like, all right, I think he's got this. But I was like, he's entering the corner way too late. So you're trying to, and this is a common thing, you try to do a lot of things in a really short amount of space. So you're trying to throw it in, catch it, and like bring it out of the corner in like 50 feet. And I was like, all right, you're trying to do too much in one little spot. So I think I was like, all right, get ready. I'm going to tell you when to initiate. And I remember the first time I was like, now. You were like, what?
I was like, now? Okay. Like, I wasn't even like ready. Like, I was like, okay, it should start to be saying it probably up here. I was like, no, I was like, oh shit. I just like grabbed it and we just went shooting off into the field.
I was just giggling the whole time. I was like, oh my God.
That's what you wanted, Sam? He's like, well, no.
So I remember I was like, you're good. Like, you're fine. I could tell you're like, fuck. I was like, you're fine. And you start, like, I think it helped though, because you really started to get it, because the thing is, it's a fluid motion. You got to get it out, and you have to let the car slide. You can't just like, get it sideways, then like do something. It's like, you got to let it float out, and then get back on the gas. But yeah, it was, I think you definitely started to get it during the day.
Yeah, no, that helped a ton, because like you said, you sat in there for a couple runs, kind of just watched everything, and then started like, okay, now we're gonna try a couple things. And I think that honestly did help a ton. It put a new perspective on like what I was doing, and I think like broke some habits that I was already trying to like teach myself, which was good. Like, okay, no, don't do that. Like, you don't need to pull the e-brake every corner. Like, use the actual momentum of the car to like shift it over.
You and Anna both did so good without the e-brake. Anna like almost a little bit too much, where I was like, you can use it. She's like, it doesn't work. Then I took her car for a lap, and I was just like, yeah, it works.
Yeah, that's how I was too. It was like the first time I didn't like, I don't know. I think it does need some brakes eventually here. But like,
I think just pads. So because you just have regular S13 rears, right? Yeah, we can just put pads on that, and then my friend Josh Watto taught me how to like properly set it on an S chassis. So yeah.
I think the thing was, so like, I tried it the one time. I was like, nothing happened. I was like, oh my God, these brakes suck.
Because you were going straight, right?
No, I like tried to do it, and it's like they had to like warm up almost.
I wonder.
And like, because after like one or two runs, I would like pull it, and it would lock them, and I was like, oh shit! Like, because I remember the first time that it actually like locked the rear wheels, I was like, oh my God! Like, I was like, okay,
it does it like that.
Yeah, because like before I was like really reefing on it, I was like it would just like slow down. I was like, well, that's not all right, like whatever. But then like after the second lap, I think as I did it, and it actually locked them, I was like, oh shit! And like, I had to like,
you probably just have some aggressive pads in there, because I've Project Mu ones are the same way. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
And then once you get it warmed up, it does it pretty well.
Yeah. So basically beforehand, I was just kind of like, I drive and I just like pull it a little bit and just try to like warm them up a little bit, so that first lap was had a little more bite to it. Because after that like second lap, it was perfect. So.
It's always funny when you're warming up your handbrake like that, because if you ever see me like when I'm first out there in line, you see the car in line like I'm just like, come on, get warm. Because the last event, not this past week, the week before, we did like a reverse layout, and when I went to enter the first corner, I went to grab the e-brake and I forgot to warm it up. I was like, uh-oh, like, that's doing nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was like too. I was like, that was supposed to do something and it did nothing. So I just like slammed on the brakes. I was like, I'm not doing that. But yeah, that was definitely a learning curve. Like I said, definitely a completely different way of driving. Never done anything like that with a vehicle before.
How did the G-forces feel?
The G-forces felt decent. I would say there wasn't a ton there. I did get a bunch of bruises like on my knees and stuff because like there's like these like stock S14 seats in there and like the e-brake.
It looks like a couch.
It does.
They look very big.
It's like they're like super soft.
They're comfy,
but it's like the e-brake handle is like right here at my knee. So it's like we'd go around and like my knee is just like pressing into that e-brake and I'm like, oh my God, I literally had like a bruise.
You taped over your e-brake, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does have a straight up like metal like e-brake.
Yeah, there's no cover on it. It's just like this
I was like, just you're gonna
piece.
like cut your hand off.
Yeah.
Like, ah!
Yeah, I like electrical taped like 3 times around it. It's like, it works.
Yeah, it's fine. You have a drift butt on there, right?
So I think they just took the spring out, so it just sits in there.
Oh, sick. Okay. Because Anna didn't, and I went to e-brake initiate with her car.
Stayed up.
And I was like, it was really like that. Oh no, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. So I like put it back down. But yeah.
Yeah, that e-brake has been an interesting.
I forgot. And you're just like,
yeah, like the threads in it that were like holding the actual bracket down.
There's one bolt pretty much that holds that down, right?
There's
the bracket. Two. Okay.
But like the main one that's like right near like that fulcrum point was like stripped out like crazy.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like in there, but like not tightened in there. So like the whole thing like wallowed around. And I remember like I went to like park it one time and I pulled the thing out and I like pulled it up. Dakota was in there and the whole thing just like came out in my hand. I was like, well, we're gonna need to fix that. Dakota's just like, oh my God, he's driving that like in 4 days. And yeah, I had to like retap that, or I drilled it out, retapped it to a bigger size.
Yeah, it's going nowhere.
She's solid now.
Yeah. Did you go like, well, I ain't going nowhere?
Yeah, I did. You have to, otherwise.
You do that with all the bolts in your car. Just like touch each one. That ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere.
That one's probably going somewhere.
This is going somewhere. So coming into this weekend, it's gonna be your next event.
Yeah.
What things are like? What's your mindset coming into this one?
I'm trying to tell myself a lot that it's like, take everything that I learned from that first one and just be like, don't come in expecting like to know what you're doing right away. Again, like I'm trying to go in and like, this is my first event again, because it's been, a month or so since that last time. That was like the one time, I only drove for the one day. So I'm trying to just remind myself, like, treat this again as your first time, at least for like this first like summer, I would say, because I would do this all the time when I would snowboard all the time. Be like, oh, I know how to snowboard. And we'd like go up there and I'd like try all this like crazy shit. And I'd like come back and be like, damn, I beat the fuck out of myself. And like, I'm super sore. I'm like, that sucked. Like I had a bad day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, just keep, don't go in with like crazy high expectations. Like go in as like, I'm still like very, very new to it.
Yep.
So.
I think that's the right mentality, is go in, but I think you hopefully come in with some more confidence, because you definitely learned a lot. I would say spend a little time on the skid pad, but not much, because the skid pad kills your tires.
Yeah.
And you can get back on the track. Hopefully it's a pretty chill day. The weather should be beautiful. Yeah. But like as far as the car goes, is there anything that you feel like you'd want to change or do different in there?
I think definitely put more air in the rear tires, because I think you drove Anna's and you're like, damn, this thing was like a rocket.
Dude, that thing
like
ripped.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, she must. And I remember her, like when we went up there that one time, like she did put a lot of air in her rear tires, and that was something she always did. I was like, definitely need to do that, because like it was literally like I was fighting the car so much to just break traction the whole time that like I think if I just was able to keep the wheels spinning, it would have been so much better, because like the angle felt good, the line felt good. It was just like it would just like putter out, and I'm just like like it would just grip up, straighten out, and I was like it like bogged down. I was like, if I just had less traction, I think it would have been able to carry it through a little more. So definitely doing that. I'm trying to get the car to look a little better.
You did some fiberglass repair.
Yeah, and this is one thing that this is also teaching me, is that I'm working on a car. I'm learning a lot of like new skills, like working on cars and stuff like that.
It's
like,
super cool.
Like dialing in the suspension, like doing alignments and stuff like that. And now I'm just like, the body kit that was on there, it's an Origin kit. the side skirts were like super beat up. Like there's like chunks missing.
Yeah.
They're all like zip tied together. It's like the one was in 3 pieces.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was just like smacking the thing back in there because it's like flying out of the side of the car.
It
It
did look
wasn't
pretty
staying
funny
put.
when you're driving. I think I was like,
Yeah. And so I'm like, I want the car to look a little bit better. So
Yep.
I'm like, and you're saying like, yeah, a lot of people like they have like origin kits or like fiberglass body kits and stuff. They'll do a lot of fiberglass work themselves to like patch it up. I was like, I'll give it a go. I watched some videos. I picked up some stuff from an auto parts store, and that's what I've been doing the last couple days. And honestly, I think it's turning out okay. Like I made some like areas with like cardboard to like kind of make like a mold, so I could like fix some of those areas that were like missing because it's like the front, like where it would go up into the wheel well, like that was just gone. Like there was like maybe like a spot for the zip tie to go, and then there's like this whole section missing. But they're now in one piece. There is stuff there to support some body filler and stuff to make it look decent. So I think I just gotta trim the excess fiberglass off tonight, throw some Bondo on it, sand it down, and then I should be able to paint it. So
hell yeah.
It's that was definitely something new that I've never done before, is working with fiberglass like that.
Yeah, well, it's a good skill to have, especially with the fiberglass kit.
Yeah.
Because you'll blow it up, like for sure.
Yeah, so I want to get the car looking a little better, like I said. Definitely figure out how to get more air in those tires, and then
What kind of, were you on the D7 Thunder?
D7 Thunders, yeah.
Those are pretty decent.
So yeah, I did look at the rears. Definitely it did get a little worn, but like I drove that set all day.
In the rear?
There must be, because it was really only on like I would say like the inside like quarter of the tire.
When you get to the track, you can have Jackson just flip them, and like wear them down.
Yeah, because the
bit.
outsides were beautiful. They look brand new.
That makes sense, because with that low power, you want a little.
Yeah, you don't want all of it. Yeah, no, it's like I said. I think the car is really well set up. It just needs a little more air in the rear to get it a little looser, and then yeah, the angle felt great. Like everything did what it was supposed to do.
Because it's got cut knuckles.
Yeah, it's got cut knuckles, extended lower control arms. It's got a relocated rack.
It's pretty much like that. We've talked about before. It's like such a good starter car.
Yeah.
If I were to have a choice, I would say you should just do a stock angle.
Yeah.
But this car is such a good deal for like what it was.
Yeah.
It's like hard to pass up.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I think the car is going to be perfect for what I need. And the first event was so much freaking fun. Like, I remember like we drove back to Apple and everything, and Meg's like, look like you had like a ton of fun out there. I was like, yeah, that was a blast.
We had a freaking posse out there.
Yeah,
too.
we did. It was me, you, and Chris, and then we had like all the FI guys up there, like rooting us on and going for like ride-alongs and stuff. And yeah, it was a blast.
My car broke, which sucked.
Oh yeah, your power steering.
Yeah,
like,
I still don't know what's
weird.
wrong with that. It's weird. Yeah. It's just air in the system.
Well, good thing you got the S13 now.
Yeah, dude, you'll come for a ride along.
Yeah, I'd love
this weekend. That thing frickin' hauls the mail.
So, like, what would you say, like, the main differences between your IS and the S13 are, like?
The S13 feels like it weighs half as much.
Okay,
like
it's just a lot
It's
lighter.
super nimble. Okay. The other thing is it's definitely got more power, but it's not like this crazy amount of power. So it just feels like happier to be put into corners.
Sure.
Where the IS is a little bit more roly-poly-oly,
Yeah.
kind of like, ooh.
It's a bigger car.
Yeah, and it's definitely heavier, and the Fortune Autos I put on the IS are like 10 out of 10, like can't recommend them enough. They're really good.
Yeah.
But the 240 just feels really nimble. The angle kit definitely feels like is as much angle as the IS, but it's way less complicated because it's a McPherson strut system. But I don't know, it just feels so good. And I'm like, oh, I understand why people drift S chassis all the time. It's like crazy. The other thing too is I've never drifted in a bucket seat.
Oh, sure.
So I got a bride seat in the
So you're
S13.
like really planted.
Yeah, and a full harness setup. So I'm like in there. And it's so crazy when I throw it in a corner and my legs are just doing whatever. Usually I'm just like,
yeah, you're trying to like hold yourself still.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I definitely need is to get like a better seat in there. I'd really like to get a better seat in there because I am like kind of like bracing myself up against things versus just like, okay, no, just focus on what your feet are doing.
There's a big difference. Oh, you also have those crazy harnesses. I forgot. With like
the crazy,
medieval chastity belt on there.
For real. Not to mention the overkill cage that's in that car.
Yeah, that's true. It probably weighs quite a bit. You'll be very safe.
Yeah. I ain't getting hurt in that thing.
The weird thing though, coming from the IS to the 240 is it's a turbo car now.
Sure.
So in the IS, like clutch in, throw it in a corner, like
It's all there.
yep, dump the clutch, like I got
Sure.
all the torque, all the throttle, like
I suppose you
power
gotta-
right there. Yeah, so I did that in the 240 and it just like fell on its face. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, and then I was like, oh, it's because I'm stupid. It's turbo. Like, I
your
gotta stay
power's
up
up there.
in
Yeah.
the power band and the boost. And I was like, all right, gotta do that. And then I came to the pits and I was loving it. I'm like, dude, this thing rips. It's so good. And my friend Carl is like, dude, like you gotta pedal it like in the corners. And I was like, okay. So I throw it in the first corner and I start pedaling it. And the blow off valve, it's like the super sequential. So I'm like, doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. I was like, oh, that's sick. It
Making
was
like all the right noises.
yeah, I was like, this is it. And yeah, it makes a huge difference. And it's weird, like you don't need to make smoke to like be a cool drift car. But
Right.
I remember the first time I came up like the last corner of extended intermediate, and I'm like, oh shit, like something's wrong. Like there's a lot of smoke. And I'm like, oh wait, no, I just have horsepower.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's good. It is so crazy though how the S chassis just is like, it's like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Like I was like, damn, like this is easy
Yeah.
mode.
Just tiny little cars.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
The interesting thing though is, so I had the Kanos on the front and rear of the S13.
Sure.
And on the front, with them being lightweight, I can 100%, even on the IS,
could
tell,
really tell.
A big difference in steering. I was
Sure.
like, damn, like this is definitely quicker. Probably helped my power steering on the IS last a little longer than it would have otherwise. But in the rears, the other thing I noticed is the brake lockup way faster and easier. I was like, whoa, because I had
it's a lot less speed or a lot less weight to stop.
exactly less rotational mass, because the Kanos I had them on there, pulled the e-brake, it was like instant. Then I have some heavier work wheels that I put on there, and like it still worked fine, but I definitely could tell I was like, I need to work it a little bit more. So it's always cool to see that, like to really feel a difference, because I know it makes a difference, but like to really feel it.
Yeah, like first-hand experience, like damn, like how much of a difference, and like you're actually able to feel it. It's not like, oh yeah, it's like milliseconds of time or you know ounces. It's like no, it's pounds, and it's like feel, like you can really feel it.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this weekend. Hopefully, I don't know, the weather said it's supposed to look good.
It's supposed to be beautiful.
Oh, last time I looked, it said like rain all day.
Wait,
so.
hold on.
Oh God.
I'm checking right now.
Oh Jesus.
All right, audience, we're checking the weather in Shawano, Wisconsin.
I really hope it doesn't rain because like I don't have windshield wipers.
I don't have windshield wipers either. Let's see. All right, it's really bad that Shawano, Wisconsin is like Shawano
That's like
weather
your
is
set.
one of my most searched things. Okay, are you ready, Gels?
Yep.
Saturday, 73, full sun.
Let's go.
Sunday, 78, full sun.
Let's go. Full sun, boys.
Full sun, full send. All right,
I'm gonna make a T-shirt with that. Full sun.
full send.
I like it.
Hey, oh, we have Monday off too, don't we?
Oh shit, yeah we do.
I forgot about that. Ryan, we got Monday off.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna drift on Monday too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we can close this one out, and appreciate you guys listening. We're back. We're back on a regular schedule, so apologize for the
Last couple
absence,
weeks, yeah.
but we're back in the saddle again.
Hell yeah, Aerosmith style.
Was it?
Aerosmith style.
Yeah, Aerosmith style. Aerosmith is actually going to be on here next week.
Really?
We're interviewing them. Yeah,
That'd be sick. I love Aerosmith.
I do too.
That was
Guilty
like my
pleasure.
favorite band when I was younger.
Didn't they do what was the song that it's like a slow song they played at like every dance?
Oh.
Don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's from Armageddon.
All of those songs are from Armageddon.
That's right. The whole like
whole freaking
I
soundtrack
forgot,
is
yeah.
Aerosmith.
that's right. That's a good movie.
I've also been playing Guitar Hero Aerosmith lately too, and it's been a lot of fun.
Wow. All right, we're digressing. So appreciate you guys watching. Jumping over to AnoviaWheels.com. Check out all the awesome wheels we've got. We got tires
and
suspension. And you know what? That suspension actually fits the cars, unlike Gel's $200 set of coilovers.
Yeah, don't buy $200 coilovers because you can't even get them in the car if you wanted to. Go buy like $600 Tane street bases that work really well, or Flex Z's for like $700, or Silvers, or BCs, or literally anything else.
Fortunato too.
Yeah, Fortunato too. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Go check out AnoviaWheels.com. I'm Gels.
I'm Sam.
We'll see you later.
See ya.